Welcome back to Mega Psyche, where we talk about the psychology of love, attraction, and the hard truths that most people are too comfortable to say out loud. Today we are talking directly to men, and what I am about to say is going to be uncomfortable for a lot of you, but discomfort is sometimes the most generous thing someone can offer you. Right now, millions of men are sitting inside a prison they built themselves, a prison of distraction, a prison of emotional dependency, a prison of chasing women, while their own life is still completely empty. And the terrifying part is that most of them walked in smiling, calling it love, calling it connection, calling it normal. And some of you watching this right now are planning to walk into that same prison, because you're convinced yourself that being single is the problem. It is not. For many men, being single is the last free season they will ever have to build themselves before life exposes their weakness in the most painful way possible. Drop a 1 in the comments if you are currently single and building, and drop a 2 if you are in a relationship that is honestly draining more from you than it is adding. I want to see this split happen right now. Here are 5 psychological reasons why staying single might be the smartest and most powerful decision a serious man can make. Reason 1. Staying single gives you time to build. A man without a foundation should not be chasing romance. Full stop. Because your life does not become valuable just because a woman likes you. A woman texting you is not success. A woman saying she misses you is not success. That means absolutely nothing if your life is still weak underneath it. And here's a trap that catches most men. They mistake female attention for progress. They think because a woman wants them, they must be doing well. But you can be desired and still be completely undisciplined. You can be in a relationship and still be going nowhere. You can have a woman's attention and still have no real purpose, no structure, no future worth mentioning. That is why singleness matters. It gives you space to build without emotional noise, to build your body, your money, your habits, your focus, and the kind of mind that does not collapse every time something emotional happens. Because the moment a woman enters a weak man's life too early, he almost always stops building and starts performing. Now he is texting all day, explaining himself all day, trying to impress, trying to please, trying to keep her interested, and little by little, his energy leaves his mission and gets poured into maintaining a connection he was not even ready for. That is how men waste their best years. Not because women are evil, but because the man got involved before he became solid. Reason 2. Staying single helps you wait for the right woman instead of chasing the loudest one. Most men are not choosing women with wisdom. They are choosing with hunger. And hunger makes a man make terrible decisions. He sees beauty and forgets character. He sees attention and assumes value. And that is how men end up with women who look good from the outside and bring complete chaos from the inside. The loudest women are always the easiest to notice. The ones always performing, always posting, always making sure they're seen. And men who are operating from a place of scarcity get completely hypnotized by that visibility. But here is the psychological truth. The woman who is easiest to access is not always a woman worth keeping. In many cases, the women who constantly need attention are feeding something deeply unhealthy inside themselves. Validation addiction. The need to always be desired. And if that hunger is deep enough, one man will never be enough for it. Staying single gives you the patience to observe rather than grab. To stop moving like every attractive woman is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Because she is not. Beautiful women exist everywhere. But women with genuine peace, real character, and consistent loyalty, those are rare. And most men are too impatient and too hungry to wait for that. This is why singleness is powerful. It teaches you to stop choosing based on visibility and start evaluating based on actual value. Make sure you are subscribed to Mega Psyche right now, because we bring this level of psychological honesty every single week. Reason 3. Staying single builds self-determination. This is where most men fail silently and completely. They have no inner center. Their mood depends on women. Their confidence depends on women. Their entire sense of worth rises and falls based on whether she replied or not. If she replies fast, they feel powerful. If she pulls back, they feel weak. If she leaves, they feel empty. That is not strength. That is emotional dependency dressed up as love. It means your entire internal state is being managed by outside approval. And a man built that way is extremely easy to control. Because once a woman realizes your confidence depends on her reaction, she has power over you. And power imbalances in relationships never end well for the person with less of it. Staying single forces you to stand on your own mind, to wake up with no romantic motivation and still move, to improve without being seen and still keep going, to work without applause and still stay disciplined. That is real self-determination, not building to impress someone, not growing because rejection hurt, but moving because weakness disgusts you and because you owe yourself more than you've been giving. When a man reaches that internal place, he becomes genuinely difficult to shake. And ironically, that is exactly the kind of man that women respect most. Not because he is trying to attract them, but because he is not. Reason 4. Staying single teaches you how to be alone without becoming desperate. This one is important because most men are not chasing women because they found someone special. They are chasing women because they cannot sit alone in peace. Silence exposes them. No messages expose them. No female attention exposes just how emotionally empty they really are inside. So they run toward women to cover the wound. Not because they are ready. Not because the woman is right. But because they cannot tolerate their own company. And a man who cannot be alone will tolerate almost anything to avoid that feeling. Disrespect, mixed signals, manipulation, humiliation. He keeps forgiving, keeps chasing, keeps lowering himself. Because in his mind, losing a woman feels worse than losing his dignity. That is what desperation does to a man. And once a woman senses that desperation, his value drops immediately. Because neediness never creates respect. It creates leverage. She may enjoy his attention. She may use his effort. But desperation never once made a man powerful in a woman's eyes. Singleness trains you to survive your own company, to sit in silence without panicking, to face an empty evening without reaching for your phone, to chase someone who should not have access to you. When a man learns that skill, he stops over-attaching. He stops chasing every connection. He becomes calmer, sharper, and significantly harder to manipulate. Because once you are genuinely comfortable alone, distance loses its power over you. And that is a level of freedom that most men never reach. Reason 5. Staying single protects your peace of mind. And this is the most important one of all. Because everything in your life depends on peace of mind. Your focus depends on it. Your work depends on it. Your health, your judgment, your future. All of it depends on your peace being intact. And the wrong woman can destroy that peace faster than most men realize. Not always through one massive betrayal. Sometimes through constant low-level chaos. Drama every week. Confusion every day. Mood swings and mind games and emotional inconsistency. And little by little, the man starts breaking without even noticing it happening. He cannot focus the same way. He cannot work the same way. His confidence quietly drops. His energy slowly drains. He becomes irritable and mentally scattered in a relationship that was supposed to add to his life. This is why peace is not a small or soft thing. Peace is a foundation of everything a man is trying to build. Without peace, discipline becomes nearly impossible. Without peace, vision becomes blurry. A man can have genuine talent and still go absolutely nowhere if his peace is being stolen from him daily. A lot of men believe that any relationship is better than no relationship. That belief has genuinely ruined lives. Because the wrong woman at the wrong time can cost more than any amount of loneliness ever could. She can cost you money, momentum, sleep, confidence, and years you will never get back. A smart man protects his peace the way his life depends on it. Because it does. He does not let beauty bypass his judgment. He does not let loneliness override his standards. He does not invite chaos into his life just because it arrives in an attractive package. Not every woman deserves access to your life. Not every connection deserves your energy. And not every relationship is a blessing. Sometimes singleness is the blessing. So let Mega Psyche say this clearly and without apology. Staying single is not failure. For a serious man, it can be one of the most productive, powerful, and necessary seasons of his entire life. It gives him time to build himself. It teaches him patience and discernment. It builds his self-determination. It trains him to be alone without desperation. And most importantly, it protects a peace of mind that everything else in his life depends on. And once a man has genuinely built himself during that season, he stops moving like he needs saving. He chooses carefully. He observes deeply. He attaches slowly. He walks away faster. He becomes a kind of man who is no longer easy to use, easy to distract, or easy to break. That is the real value of this season. It does not make you less of a man. It gives you the chance to actually become one.